Hello YouTube, I'm MusicKev, and welcome to Zelda Month. I will be uploading a video each day on either this channel or my other channel. I'll be doing 10 top 10s on this channel, and then the 2 more musical top 10s will get in-depth discussions on my other Musing About Music channel. Usually I reserve this channel for gameplay, but I wanted to do some more video game associated stuff on this channel, even if it isn't gameplay. Besides, I'm still working on making my recording software work with my new setup. Anyway, that's enough for an intro to this series. For today's top 10, we are looking at the top 10 cities or towns in a Zelda game. For my ranking system, I considered all of the versions of the towns throughout the years, but instead of just saying every instance of this town, I'll pick the one that I like best of the iterations. Since it is my list, I'm basing it on the residents, the side quests, and my own nostalgia. Hey, at least I'm being honest about my biases. Let's get this Zelda month started. Number 10. The Minish Village is a town hidden in the Minish Woods in Hyrule and is the first village founded by the Minish population. This made the list purely because of its clever design. There isn't much interesting in the way of side quests, but the resident Minish are mostly nice. But the design! I love the idea of small things needing to use creative architecture choices. There's mushrooms as houses and elevated on logs, a shoe with fungus growing in it, a barrel, and Link's favorite, a pot. Recognizing the size difference between Minish and Hylians led to great design choices. All the other Minish living places deserve equal credit, but the original village takes the cake. Number 9. Kokiri Forest, or Korok Forest in later iterations, has long been the home of the Kokiri and the Koroks, both of whom have always been protected by the Deku Tree. These forests are always home to some kind of trial or dungeon, not to mention the lost woods involved with them. But for me, there's only one forest, Kokiri Forest of Ocarina of Time. I have to give some credit to the Wind Waker's Korok Forest for surviving in the middle of an ocean, but Kokiri Forest wasn't invaded by Chews. The Deku Tree only failed to protect them against Ganondorf himself. Now, the Kokiri serve as an excellent introduction to the mechanics of the 3D world, and the story of needing to leave the only home you know and coming back to it later as an adult, such a good story move. Also, the Deku Tree as a dungeon was a clever design choice. Even if we look at the Kokiri Forest of the future, there may not be a Deku Tree, but just look at that cute little Deku sprout. Number 8. This is starting to get tough, but my next pick is Tarrytown from Breath of the Wild. This town is a build-it-yourself deal, which makes it more endearing for sure. The town eventually can become your one-stop shop for anything you need throughout the game. The side quest, though clever, is stupidly complex, and it's annoying to try to find people whose name ends in Sun. And a crap ton of wood. It is worth it though, so Tarrytown still earns a slot on the list. I'm just not a huge fan of the buildings. They look a bit cartoonish. Number 7. The more I thought about it, the further up the list my next pick has snuck. Clocktown, situated in the middle of Termina, is the main hub for Majora's Mask. The people here are so diverse, so positive, even with certain dooms staring them down. This town wins based on all the side quests and stories, though that may be more of a victory of the game Majora's Mask itself. Clocktown is certainly the most visited of any of the towns on this list. I mean, unless you're speedrunning. No, probably even if you were speedrunning. Number 6. For this slot, I'm representing the ranches. Do the ranches count as towns? I don't care. It's my list. I'm counting them as towns. The ranches are Ordon Ranch from Twilight Princess, Romani Ranch from Majora's Mask, and Lon Lon Ranch from Ocarina of Time, Four Swords, and Minish Cap. The ranches are the best. You get Epona, and you get healing milk, but the best ranch that's making this list is Romani Ranch. It features young and old Malon, the Romani sisters, and in addition to an awesome series of quests that sees you hunting aliens and then staving off bandits in order to get a milk delivery, there's also dog racing, which has you using a mask to talk to them in order to bet well, and then just growing chicks into cuckoos as a man's last wish before, the moon. And let's not forget, the best milk is Chateau Romani. Unlimited magic meter? Yes, please. I believe I've made my point. Moving on. Number 5. Barely breaking the top 5 is Goron City. Why? Because they eat the things that they make their homes from. That'd be like us living in fruitcake brick houses. Okay, done rehashing that joke. Of the Goron villages, Twilight Princess's representation is the best. There's wrestling with the Gorons to earn their respect, which then makes its way into the dungeon where you fight a bigger Goron in a wrestling style as well. Not to mention how awesome the volcano looks and just the overall feel of Death Mountain. But on that point, guys, I know you're fireproof, but the active volcano is a bit unkind to visitors. Not just you, Twilight Princess Gorons. All of you. Number 4. Gerudo Town is a male's fantasy. All women. Except for the fact that men are exiled out or captured on sight. Maybe this is one of those wanting what you cannot have things. But no, the music is always amazing, and the desert town always leads to interesting design choices. The best of the Gerudo towns is the one in Breath of the Wild. You have to dress as a woman to get in, and there's even an underground area for people who sell clothing for men. Then, in order to earn the right to borrow the treasure of the Gerudo, you have to run around and prove yourself worthy by helping everyone in the town. The best bit is the male Goron who made it into the town just because there's not a visual difference between male and female Gorons. Number 3. The number 3 slot goes to the Rito, who, as birds, have their town built into a mountain. Then, they make their town accessible to visitors, and I suppose those who don't fly yet, by building wooden walkways. In fact, you could even say that their designs resemble a nest. My favorite of the Rito villages is the one in Wind Waker. You get to sort mail in a fun minigame, and not to mention that it does a great job of defending why there's a dungeon there. Wait a second. Is that another active volcano? I don't care if Alou is protecting you. If he creates volcanic conditions when he's upset, it's bad. Number 2. These choices keep getting tougher, but my runner-up is Soras Domain. The designs always make sense for the seafaring race. The architecture in Breath of the Wild is stunning. Crystalline structures and all. However, the best Soras Domain is the one in Majora's Mask. It is the mostly underwater entrances, a gorgeous seashell stage for the Indigogos to perform. Speaking of performing on a stage, the music is always so peaceful in Soras Domain, which gives it major points in my book. Number 1. It may be obvious what I'm picking at this point. It's a town that is featured in more games than anything else, except maybe Hyrule Castle Town. It's Kakariko Village. There's always been all kinds of side quests to be found here, be it grave robbing, waking up a lazy guy, or rounding up cuckoos. And on top of it all, they're brave enough to sit under an active volcano? No, I'm not going to make another Pompeii due to my rankings. Ocarina of Time, your village loses. Not to mention, you try to keep Bongo Bongo in a well. Come on, guys. Get better. The best Kakariko Village is the one from Link to the Past. It is the most story significant, with the rumors making people call guards on you. There's an old woman who is secretly a fairy. There's a magic duck. And, for all you randomized players, there's all the chests. Not to mention, it has an awesome Dark World version. Yes, I know it's called something different. I don't care. Still counts. Well, guys, that finishes the list. Thanks for watching my ramblings about my favorite cities or towns from Zelda games. Did I leave your favorite out? Did I let something on my list that didn't really earn a spot? Let me know your favorites in the comments below. Like this video also so I know I've done well. If you'd like to see the rest of my lists, the playlist will be here. If you want to see my gameplay of Zelda, Link Between Worlds, it's over here. Finally, subscribe to stay up to date on all of my videos for Zelda Month. See you tomorrow.